bought 1 million Kaspa tokens, a goal that I've been having for a very long time to become a shark. But why? Why do I personally have conviction in the Kaspa? And in this video, we're going to get into the top 3 things that have solidified myself in what I believe is the #1 proof of work chain. We're going to get into all of these in this video. But first, cryptocurrency is extremely risky, and always do your own research. This is never financial advice. Just because I do something does not mean it's the right decision for you. Now let's get into Kaspa. I finally hit my goal of 1 million Kaspa tokens, which gets me to a shark. As you can see, I posted right here. And I do not say this to brag or anything. There's a lot of people that have more Kaspa than me, and there's a ton of a lot that have less. But I've worked for this for a very long time, and what I want to show is that I bought as low as less than 3 cents. I found out about Kaspa around 1 penny, but I did not know how to buy it at the time. And then I bought as high as, the KRC20 launch because I had FOMO and Fade the Noise, watch the work. And there has been times over my journey to get here that I've lost conviction, right? I've seen the price going down, and if the price going down scares somebody, then I totally understand them capitulating. But I try to use good risk management, and anytime I ever lose conviction, I really go back to the fundamentals. And that's what this video is about, because even though a lot of people look at this and they do see the pump from 5 cents up here to 6 cents and now consolidate, and they also go back and they take a look at this chart, right? And they see it hitting over 20 cents and going down to this crazy wick that I don't really count, but going down to about 4.5 cents, right? And I get it. It's very, very tough. And I'm going to dive into this chart. I'm going to dive into the technical analysis in a minute, but that is not my #1 reason for conviction. So we just launched the Kaspa promo code for the private Discord, and the results have been great. So I'm going to keep it open. Use code KASPA70 for 70% off forever. Link down in the pinned comments. Let's get back into Kaspa. Getting into my #1 reason that I have high conviction into Kaspa and Kaspa's future is the founder, Yonatan Sompolinsky. Okay, for anyone that doesn't know him, very well educated, right? Harvard, there's a lot more education than I have, 34.3 followers, but he goes back a lot further than that. This is a crypto OG, and this right here is the Ethereum white paper, and it talks about the greedy, heaviest observed subtree, which is the ghost protocol that we hear about in Kaspa, is an innovative first introduction by Yonatan Sompolinsky. The motivation behind Ghost Protocol is that the blocks remain with fast confirmation times currently suffer from reduced security. And we know that Kaspa is one of the most secure blockchains that it is. It's also one of the fastest and the fastest proof of work at 10 blocks per second. But Yonatan Sompolinsky, the founder, did not come here just to have fun. He was talked about by Vitalik Buterin, the founder of Ethereum, in the Ether white paper way back in the day. So that means that he is very well connected and he understands the basis of cryptography and how it can really grow to a scaling factor. And the #2 reason I am extremely bullish on Kaspa is because Yonatan Sompolinsky has been around for so long, and one thing he understands is that proof of work is the way. Proof of work is the most tried and true form of cryptography. It's the most secure, as you can see right here on Coinbase.com. What is proof of work? Proof of work is the original crypto consensus mechanism. Yes, this is what's used by Bitcoin. This is what used to be used as Ethereum until they moved to proof of stake. You can see proof of work has some powerful advantages, especially for being a relatively simple but hugely valuable cryptocurrency like Bitcoin. It's proven robust way of maintaining a secure, decentralized blockchain. As the value of cryptocurrency grows, more miners are incentivized to join the network, increasing its power and security. That is exactly what we see with Bitcoin, okay? But whenever we take a look at proof of work, it's harder to make a proof of work cryptocurrency. It's a lot easier for a proof of stake protocol such as Solana to exist, such as Sui to exist. And so whenever we take a look, cryptocurrency is far undervalued when it comes to proof of work technology, because obviously you have BTC taking up 2.3 trillion market cap, but then you have Dogecoin, the number one meme coin in the world. Yes, it is proof of work, but then you have multiple forks off of Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and then you come down here to a couple of these privacy projects. Then you have Ethereum Classic, which is a fork, but then you have a Kaspa. So whenever you're talking about really true layer one that is scalable, the fastest proof of work blockchain, the second place is ranked 54th in overall crypto market cap as Kaspa. And so right there, that tells me that this is far undervalued, but it's only undervalued if people see this true. If people see that more miners coming in are being incentivized by the network, that is via Kaspa fees, that is via Kaspa tokens, and the number three reason that has recently solidified my confidence in the network, and let's just do a highlight on them. Number one is definitely Yonatan Sompolinsky, the founder. Number two is the fact that it is a proof of work. But number three lies right here on this chart, and it is the belief in the miners. When we go back all time and we see the initial run up that Kaspa had, and we can see that coming over here to the trading view chart, we could see that it ran up multiples more than almost anything else in the bear market. If we take a look at this just from that time, that's a 50x on the money. That's pretty amazing in a bear market. But then we had Bitcoin start to run, and Kaspa has been on a downhill slide ever since. But if you take a look, July 6th, we hit a low. July 13th, we hit a low on this hash rate. But ever since then, we've been consolidating around the 620, 680 petahashes. It's the computing power that secures the Kaspa network. And if we come look at July 3rd, when that low hit around July 3rd, where were we at in terms of price? We were in terms of 8 cents. So we have went down a good amount since then. So if we come over here, let's find July 8th, I believe it was, but close enough. July 8th was about right here, okay? And so then if we go down, we are down 40% in terms of token price, but we are flat and consolidating in terms of hash rate. That means that the network is extremely strong, and that I think we have found the low in terms of hash rate. But now I want to turn over to the chart, because never financial advice, and what I do is not what you should do, but I also believe we have found the low in the Kaspa price. So let's get over here to TradingView and take a look at the chart. We went over this before, but I can say this top right here, you can see how this kind of just rolled over. If we start looking around November and we come over here to March, those 4 or 5 months, it just kind of exhausted out, right? And that's normal. And that is categorized the same way as a head and shoulders pattern, which is you take the baseline right there of the body and you measure this tip of the head and you come down to that body, and then you measure that breakout. And so whenever we come over here and we take a look at this, we could see if we measure from the tip right there and we come down here to the body line and then we take it to the point of the breakout, you could see we have hit roughly that area, and that takes us down here to this green box. And if we look at this green box, this is where I personally see max value in it, and because that is based off of this right here, this level right here, this level right here, this level right here, this level here, this level here, this level here, all of these right here, and then obviously this right here. So that's how I come to this box. But we hit it right there. And so whenever I'm looking at my risk management, which I think is important for anyone, from this low right here, I have the potential to come down about 20%. And that is because I think that low is due to the hash rate being stable. You know, I don't see it keep dipping. If we're around 200, 300 petahashes, and I actually called this in the video whenever I seen it at the 1.5 exahash, I was like, okay, if we do technical analysis on this, a 6.1 retracement or 61.8 fib retracement would take us down to around 600 petahashes. So this is something that I did expect. I did not expect the price to go down this far. It's just, it happens, right? When you're overly bullish, when you're overly excited about something, when you see the tech that's being built, when you see that there was the first iterations of smart contracts come out, KRC20 has already been released, KRC 721, and now you see VPROGs are coming out in a few months. It is just crazy for me not to be bullish on Kaspa. But I want to know, what do you think about my reasons of conviction into Kaspa? And do you have similar reasons? I want to know down below in the comments. Watch this video up above. And if you're not a part of the Finance Freeman family, what are we doing? Subscribe. I love you all.